सात्वतिगं हवामहे कविं कवि
स्वागतं 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 गणपते हृदयाय जितेन्द्रियाय तेजस्विने स्वागतम् उदार हृदयाय जितेन्द्रियाय तेजस्विने स्वागतम् जनप्रियाय धीमते धैर्यप्रदाय स्वागतम् जनप्रियाय मनोहराय स्वागतम् प्रसन्नात्मने बहुभक्ताय मनोहराय स्वागतम् विनयशीलाय शान्ताय शान्तिप्रदाय स्वागतम् विनयशीलाय शान्ताय शान्तिप्रदाय स्वागतम् निगग पमगरिग पप तपमग पद सनि दपद गनि सासे निगग पमगरिग पप तपमग पद सनि दपद गनि सासे रिग पमगरि सग पद सरिति गरि सनि दनि सनि दप पमगरिग स्वागतं 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 गणपते स्वागतं गणपते स्वागतं तेजस्विने स्वागतम् उदार हृदयाय जितेन्द्रियाय तेजस्विने स्वागतम् जनप्रियाय धीमते धैर्यप्रदाय स्वागतम् जनप्रियाय धीमते धैर्यप्रदाय स्वागतम् स्वागतम् गणपते स्वागतम् गणपते प्रसन्नात्मने बहुभक्ताय मनो
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव समस्त जनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om. My pranams to all our children who are participating in this camp. For so many weeks, every day, 5 days in a week, you are practicing yogasana in your home and some exercises. To see the success in any field, there should be regularity and sincerity. These two are very important. And of course, absence of vanity, no ego. When you are using the ego that I am doing, then you cannot continue. Surely you will take it for granted and you will not practice. But I am requesting all of you to continue in any field, whether it is sports, whether it is exercise, whether it is music, whether it is dance or studies, regularity. When we do regularly, even if for few minutes, 15 minutes, maximum half an hour, then only one can see the result. That is the thing we are learning in this camp, that regularity. And without any break, go on doing, and don't think that how many days I will do, what is happening, I don't see any progress. No, go on doing. That result always, God will always provide you, Gurudev will always provide you. Keep that in mind, and hearty congratulations to all of you that you are doing it sincerely for all these days. And even after the camp, you will continue. Hari Om. Now we'll do Tadasana. This asana is a posture, and Tada means mountain. Posture of a mountain. mountain posture. Here keep the body straight, keep the hands down, then lift the hands, then make the interlock the fingers and look and keep turn it upwards, then stand on the toes, count 10, and while stretching up, you stretch. At the time, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then slowly turn the hands and then come down. And then bring the hands down. Relax. Breathe out. Again, take the hands up. Interlock the fingers. Turn it upwards. Stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then bring it down. Turn it this way. Then bring down and relax. This is the final round. Again, raise your hands, interlock, turn it up, stretch, breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now turn the hands down and bring it and keep it by the side of the body. And relax. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. This is Tadasana. Then next one, we'll do the Tiryak Tadasana. Tiryak means we'll bend like this side and that side. So again raise the hands. Breathe in, but this time keep the legs down, but keep the legs a little apart. Turn the body to the left. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then bring it to normal position. Turn the hands down. Again turn the hands up. Back to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then come to normal position. Turn the hands down and then bring it and keep it by the side of the body. Relax. Again raise. Then turn to this side, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it to the middle, then take the other side. Count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then bring to the middle. There's no need of bringing the hands to the side of the body. Just repeat. This is the last round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Middle. Then take the other side. That's the final thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And bring the hands to the middle and bring it. Keep by the side of the body. Then relax. Relax. Take a deep breath. This is called Tiryak. Tiryak means like an angle. It is same Tadasana but in a different version of the Tadasana. Now all the exercises what we'll do. First we'll bend back and come forward. Then we'll do the squatting exercise. Now take a deep breath. See, now your heart must be beating, you can hear. Then lift the hands, take up, then bend back. Bend, or this position will be better. Lift your hands, breathe in. Bend forward. This is 3. The lift. This is 4. The last one, last round. Bend forward. This is 5. Now lift your hands, breathe in nicely, then relax the hands. Hands bring it slowly. Now relax. Relaxation is very important. This is squatting in 3 places, in the middle, on the left and on the right. First in the middle, stretch your legs, then squat 1 time, then get up, then keep the bring the right leg to the left leg position, then take the left leg, then bring the right leg to the left, and then stretch the left leg, squat. And you have to go a little fast. Squat, then to the right, squat, to the left, to the middle, squat. While squatting, the legs should be apart. Then to the left, squat, then to the right, to the middle, squat, to the right, squat, to the left, to the middle, squat. This is the way the squatting, at least 5 times. Now we did only 3 times this squatting. Now we'll do the exercise by sitting down. Okay, take a deep breath, then sit down. This is called Aradhanā-Mahasamadhi. It is twisting the body. Then keep the right hand like this, and then keep the body stable, and then turn to the left. Do the same thing to the right. Then to the left. This is 1 round. We'll do 2 more rounds. Then to the right. Then to the left. Then to the right. This is the last round. Mainly is twisting the body. Then this is the and the last, and take a deep breath. Okay, deep breath. Next asana is Pavana Muktasana. Pavana Muktasana. And if one does, then all the gas, whatever is in the stomach, it will get out. Pavana Muktasana. In the morning time, to do this one is really good. Keep the body little up, left side, left leg little up, hold the, lift both the legs, but left leg will be slightly off the ground and the right leg will be more off. Then hold the near the knee tightly and pull the body. And if you can touch the knees, that is good, or how much you can come. Until you count 10, hold like this. Then bring the body down and the right leg remain up the ground. Same thing with the left. 3 times we'll do 3 rounds. Again the right leg till you count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then relax. Relax. Then sit down to turn your body to the left side, then get up and sit down. We'll do Ardha Salvasana. So lie down on your stomach, and keep both the hands below the thigh, and lift the right leg first like this and keep till you count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then bring it down and do the same thing with the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The last round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then bring the legs down and relax. Now keep both the hands in this manner and relax. Keep both the hands, the right palm below, left one on the top, and look to the right side, and on the cheek slip there. And just relax. till you count 10, then turn to the right side, only the head. Now get up, sit down, and we'll do Brahmari pranayam. For that purpose, it like Brahmara means a bumblebee. The sound of bumblebee, it makes the mind very calm. So close your ears, and with these two fingers, the ring finger and the middle finger, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And while breathing out, make the sound in the throat. First breathe in again. And listen to the sound. Again breathe in deeply. And slowly breathe out and make the noise. Five times. Again breathe in. Breathe in. And while closing the eyelids, don't put any pressure, just lightly keep the fingers just on the top of the eyelids. Breathe in. Now slowly remove the hand and experience the calmness. Surely the sound makes the mind very calm. That's why music and all, when we listen, mind becomes very peaceful. When you are agitated, if you do this pranayam, then your mind will be free from that agitation, anger, any kind of bad emotion when it is coming. If it is done, if regularly one is doing, then one need not have to struggle. It will be very natural to the person. Now open your eyes and stand up, and we'll do little laughing yoga for 1 minute. Get up. your parents are there, mom is there, or if nobody is there, just imagine somebody is there. Then you are actually, you are not really laughing, but you are pretending that you are laughing. But that will make you laugh. So it is a good way of creating good hormones. First start like this, little move. Ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ho. 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 After this, then as if you are meeting somebody, but without telling anything, through laugh we are telling. First you are meeting that person. I am so happy that you have come, that you are expressing through laugh. Okay, that is just for few seconds. The next is that what is your name? You are asking the person, what is your name? Where from you come? Like this, and then you can sit down and do the concluding prayer. We'll do the prayer to express our gratitude to the Lord and Puja Gurudev, because of whom we are able to do this asana. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kaschit dukkhavag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Pranams to each one of you. Thank you, children. So we'll see again tomorrow. Hari Om.
नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ शन्नो मित्रश्रं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मणे नमो अस्त्वग्नये नमः पृथिव्यै नमः ओषधीभ्यः नमो वाचे नमो वाचस्पतये नमो विष्णवे बृहते करोमि। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ यश्छन्दसा वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यवृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणम् जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरि विश्रुवम् ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ तत्संयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजम् शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो वाचे या चोदिताया चानुदिता तस्यै वाचे नमो नमो वाचे नमो वाचस्पतये नमः ऋषिभ्यो मन्त्रकृद्भ्यो मन्त्रपतिभ्यो मामामृषयो मन्त्रकृतो मन्त्रपतयः परा दुर्माहमृषीन् मन्त्रकृतो मन्त्रपतीन् परादां वैश्वदेवी वाचमुद्यासगुं शिवामदस्तां जुष्टां देवेभ्यः शर्म मेद्यौ शर्म पृथिवी शर्म विश्वमिदं जगत् शर्म चन्द्रश्च सूर्यश्च शर्म ब्रह्म प्रजापति भूतं वदिष्ये भुवनं वदिष्ये तेजो वदिष्ये यशो वदिष्ये तपो वदिष्ये ब्रह्म वदिष्ये सत्यं वदिष्ये तस्मा अहमिदमुपस्तरणमुपस्तृणमुपस्तरणं मे प्रजायै पशूनां भूयादुपस्तरणमहं प्रजायै पशूनां भूयासं प्राणापानो मृत्योर्मापातं प्राणापानौ मामाहासिष्ठं मधुमनिष्ये मधुजनिष्ये मधुवक्ष्यामि मधुवदिष्यामि मधुमतीन् देवेभ्यो वाचमुद्यासगुं शुश्रूषेण्याम् मनुष्येभ्यस्तं मा देवा अवन्तु शोभायै पितरोऽनुमदन्तु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ मधुवातारुतायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगुण्रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागुमस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठिता माविरावीर्मयेधि वेदस्य आणीस्तश्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीरनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रात् सन्धदामृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्ववतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ इडादेवहुर्मनुर्यज्ञनिर्बृहस्पतिरुक्तामदानि शंसिषद्विश्वे देवासूक्तवाचः पृथिवीमातर्मामाहिषीर्मधुमनिष्ये मधुजनिष्ये मधुवक्ष्यामि मधुवदिष्यामि मधुमती देवेभ्यो वाचमुद्यासगं शुश्रूषेण्याः मनुष्येभ्यस्तम्मा देवा अवन्तु शोभायै पितरोऽनुमदन्तु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं ऋतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवधातारम् अवधातारम् अवानूचानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चातात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोत्तरात् अवदक्षिणात् अवचोर्ध्वात् अवाधरात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात्। त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः त्वमानन्दमयस्त्वं ब्रह्ममयः त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमेष्यति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति। त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वम् अवस्थात्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यम् त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यम् त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वमिन्द्रस्त्वमग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवस्वरो। गणादिं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादींस्तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्तवमनुस्वरूपम् गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारश्चान्त्यरूपम् बिन्दुरुत्तररूपम् नादः सन्धानम् सगुण्ठिता सन्धिः सैषा गणेश विद्या गणक ऋषिः निसृद्गायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता। ॐ गणपतये नमः। एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमङ्कुशधारिणं रदं च वरदं हस्तैर्बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजं रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात्तरम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्तेऽस्तु लम्बोदरायैकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय वरदमूर्तये नमः एतदथर्वशीर्षं योऽधीते स ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते स सर्वविघ्नैर्न बाध्यते स सर्वत्र सुखमेधते स पञ्चमहापापात् प्रमुच्यते सायमधीयानो दिवसकृतं पापं नाशयति प्रातरधीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापं नाशयति सायं प्रातः प्रयुञ्जानो पापो भवति सर्वत्राधीयानोपविघ्नो भवति धर्मार्थकाममोक्षं च विन्दति इदमथर्वशीर्षमशिष्याय न देयम् यो यदि मोहाद्दास्यति स पापीयान् भवति सहस्रावर्तनाद्यम्यं काममधीते तन्तमनेन साधयेत् अनेन गणपतिमभिषिञ्चति स वाग्मी भवति चतुर्थ्या मनश्चञ्जपति स विद्यावान् भवति इत्यथर्वणवाक्यम् ब्रह्माद्यावरणं विद्यान्न बिभेति कदाचनेति यो दूर्वाङ्कुरैर्यजति स वैश्रवणोपमो भवति यो लाजैर्यजति स यशोवान् भवति स मेधावान् भवति यो मोदकसहस्रेण यजति स वाञ्छितफलमवाप्नोति यः साध्यसमिद्भिर्यजति स सर्वं लभते स सर्वं लभते अष्टौ ब्राह्मणान् सम्यक् ग्राहयित्वा सूर्यवर्चस्वी भवति सूर्यग्रहे महानद्यां प्रतिमासन्निधौ वा जप्त्वा सिद्धमन्त्रो भवति महाविघ्नात् प्रमुच्यते महादोषात् प्रमुच्यते महापापात् प्रमुच्यते महाप्रत्यवायात् प्रमुच्यते स सर्वविद्भवति स सर्वविद्भवति य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidvaram. Hari Om. Vedanta literally means the end portion of Vedas, but it means the very culmination of knowledge. This Vedanta is otherwise known as Upanishads. Actually, Upanishads are known as Vedanta. Now, people think that Vedanta is very dry, etc. But we saw that the very subject matter of Vedanta is one's own true self. And everyone loves oneself. And that oneself is most relevant to one's own life. And if that Atma is Priyatama, which is me, myself, and that is the subject matter, then how can it be dry? Because all of us love ourselves, and naturally all our name, form, everything. So therefore, Vedanta is most beautiful and very sweet. Now we'll see the other aspect of it. This Atma Swarup, which is the theme of that Vedanta, what is its Swarupa? Now, today we'll have one type of inquiry. So we'll read shloka number 11. Prayatante sukhayaiva
प्रयतन्ते सुखायैव
tatha dukkha nivrittaye
तथा दुःखनिवृत्तये
vitta sattartha bhogaischa
वित्तसत्तार्थभोगैश्च
jana sarvatra sarvada.
जना सर्वत्र सर्वदा.
Now, if we observe our own life, life of all beings, including all little creatures and insects also, all of them, they are always busy. Busy doing what? They are all the time striving for two things. One is called dukkha nivritti, and the other is ananda prapti, sukha prapti. These are the two very powerful motivating factors. If just you sit also, and after some time you find little, immediately you change your position, and you feel so nice immediately. So any position which is very uncomfortable, immediately you want to change it. Every form, little things up to the highest one, whatever you can think of. Dukkha nivritti. Dukkha means it can be discomfort, it can be stress, tension, agitation, distress. So many there expressions are there of that. When we are physically unwell, then there is a pain or fever or such kind of symptoms. We want to be free from them. And do you know, at the earliest what? Same time, we think that if somebody can give me one pill and I drop and everything will be fine immediately. So, dukkha nivritti and other is positively sukha prapti. These are two motivating factors. Now, what do we do generally? once we understand these are the motivating factors. So say prayatante sukhaya eva tatha dukkha nivrittaye janaha sarvatra sarvada. Janaha, all people, sarvatra, everywhere, in any part of this world, any part of this Brahmanda, whole cosmos, sarvada, all jivas, but particularly we are now more concerned about human beings. As I said, even little pashu, pakshi creatures, they also strive for that only. So janaha sarvatra sarvada, for two things. Prayatante sukhaya eva. Tatha dukkha nivrittaye, and also for elimination of sorrow. Okay, and what do they do? How to do it? The common things that people do, thinking that that will make them comfortable, that will make them secure, that will make them happy. What are those factors? Number one is called vitta. Vitta means wealth. Wealth. I must have money. Understandable, because money is required to fulfill our whatever the natural needs that are there. But when we start thinking that this wealth will give me security, that will give me pleasure and joy and all that, then there is a mistake. By vitta itself, there is no problem, because we need it for our food, clothing, shelter, and all other kinds of our physical, natural, all the prakritik, our shakta needs. But slowly what happens is, we start giving so much of importance to that vitta, that it is not looked upon only as a transactional thing, or which will fulfill my need. We start seeing many things in that. And number one is security. But do we know, the moment we get money, we are worried about its security only. How to keep it safe, So, but that vitta is one thing. And do you know why the fascination for wealth is there, money is there? Because that is the very tangible results of our karma. So people say, hour to hour, I charge my fees. So if I work for so many hours, I get this much money. It's a tangible result. So in one family, suppose 3 children are there, and one is a businessman, one is a professional, and one is a samaj sevak. Social service and all that, and it does his so. So the parents also speak about 2 children very proudly, he is a businessman. A third, pata nahi kya ho gaya usko. If you ask him, he said, I get inner satisfaction. What inner satisfaction? It can't be seen or shown or anything like that. But money is something you can immediate. That's why the attraction, number one, was tangible. And second, that money that gives you purchasing power immediately. So that you can buy this, buy that, buy that. Otherwise, I wanted so many things, I don't have any money and all that. Are credit card zindabad. You can have a credit card, but there also have to pay ultimately, There is nothing free like that. Maybe immediately I don't have to give cash and all that, but after I have to pay anyway. Purchasing power. Then slowly if I got money, then people also start, influence is there. And all things, that's why with the very great attraction. Then satta. Satta means power. Oh, power. Power means that I am now the head of my department. 5 people are working under me. But even that also you think to yourself, I am the boss of 5 at least. And very strangely I have seen that generally if you ask youth, what do you want to become? They will say all professional fields and all that. But nobody says, I want to become a teacher. Right? But everybody has got great glamour for becoming a spiritual teacher. I am telling you, very powerful. Even if they start conducting a Vedanta study class, immediately all these students, Guru, 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 they start touching it. They have great glamour, The other teachers, they don't want to become it. But this they want to know. Why? I was so serious. My students, Swamiji, my students. Tumhare student ho? Are you are working for Chinmaya mission or any spiritual organ. They found he is a great, you should say his students are there. No, my students. And they also start asking for guidance in their family life, this, that, and they don't know how to even tell that also. But why? That also is power. It gives you power. They start depending on your advice and counseling and emotional things, and they are of my teacher, my teacher. It's not only this outside world, the political satta or anything like that. This is more subtle than that. So, and money also gives that power. And other things also, it's a big topic. But people think that, they are great. They feel very great, very happy about that, With the sarta, artha bhoga, artha, all material things, and enjoyment of all those pleasures, I have got a beautiful house facing the sea. Oh, facing the sea. And in my house, there are so many things are there, A swimming pool is there, movie theater is there. But the only thing is, I have no time to enjoy any of these things. Everything is enjoyed by the guests who come here, They enjoy. And many times, their view, $1 million view, it is generally covered with a curtain only then. And these people go out and all that. The servants enjoy everything very nicely. Artha bhog. So, these are the means, isn't it? And then, if I have got money, all my sorrows of poverty will go away. If I got power, that all the other sorrows will go away, then I will be considered as a wonderful person. So these are the few common things. Of course, there are the subtler and subtler when the people go for art and what you call the sports and all, and the philosophy and so many kinds of things they may go on. But the main thing is artha kama, wealth and enjoyment. Jana sarvatra sarva and sarvatra isha vihita ritihi, and everywhere it is the same thing. A person, may be applauded for all kinds of achievements of material things, but he is respected only for what he is. Generally, when all the material achievements are there and all that, people glorify that person in this, and sometimes they realize he is a worthless person. He may be worth $1 billion in the world market, but he is a worthless person. because there is no character or anything like that. So now, what we found, we all strive for elimination of sorrow and attainment of happiness. And we do this only with these commonly known all factors through that. Now the question is all right? But I ask you, have you got it? Has your sorrow means what? Your bandhana, shoka, moha, bhaya, have they gone away? Are you free from that? So if material wealth is there, that material poverty must have gone. But what about your emotional state? What about all other things? Do you feel that you are complete now? So then what happens is, let us see second sloka now. Next is 12th one. Napnuvanti cha te preshtam.
नाप्नुवन्ति च ते प्रेषम्
Napi dukkham nivartate.
नापि दुःखं निवर्तते
Vedanto dishati srotam.
वेदान्तो दिशति श्रुतम्
Nityanandasya no hridi.
नित्यानन्दस्य नो हृदि.
So now, before gaining anything, the person thinks that if he or she gets that, he will be happy and all will be fine, right? People say, no, if only I get $1 billion, all my problems will be over. It does not know that all problems will begin. Because so many relatives will crop up from somewhere. Their eyes on you or that money. Anyway, before gaining, whether it is money or pleasure or position or power or anything, they feel that, that this will give. After gaining, what happens? How is it everything? Kya kare? Okay. Na apnuvanti jate preshtam. Preshtam is what most dear to them that was there. Remember? That wealth was wanted for ultimately only happiness. I want money so that I can get things, then I can enjoy, then I will be happy. Whether power, position, bhoga, everything, ultimately we want only for a sukham. So that sukham which is most dear, did you get that? What is the experience? Everyone's experience. Na apnuvanti tate preshtam. Of course, their life will be more comfortable and people also will follow this, that. That will be there, no doubt. But inside you ask the person, no. That sukham for which you are getting there, did you get? Has your sorrow gone away? Sorrow means fear, grief, delusion, dejection, disappointments, and all that. That has all gone. Napi dukkham nivartate. So then what is the use? The very purpose for which you are doing all these things, that thing itself, you never got it. Then, honestly speaking, then, they ask, honestly speaking, then, the whole world thinks that you are most wonderful person and then, most successful person, most this, that, great celebrity and all that. Then we read the news, that person committed suicide, this, that. What happened? In Srimad Bhagavat, there is a very famous shloka which Vidurji says to Maitreya Rishi, Sukhaya karmani karoti lokaha, natai sukham na anyad uparamam va. People are gone working for all these things, but neither they get sukham nor the dukkha goes away. So how are you? As before, Little more rich I am, little more comfortable I am, little more than, but and we should understand objectively, there is nothing wrong with that, with the as such, or anything as such. It is our thinking and our projection of mind that this will give me that, that will give me that. It's not a fault of that money said, I never told you I will give you happiness. I only told you you will get purchasing power. Isn't it? All other things are your only projections. That you evaluate other person only what that person has, not what that person is. So then that's your fault. But by this kind of means, sorrow is not going to end. Otherwise, all rich people would have become very, very happy. And all poor people must be suffering only, but that also is not seen that like that. So Vedanta first points out our two most powerful motivating factors for all whatever we want to gain or what we want to drop also. First we strive to get something, then again we want to just drop it also. But aprayatnat prayatnatva mudho napnoti nirvritim. But by struggling for something or not struggling for something or by gaining and by dropping, doesn't find any kind of happiness. So what Vedanta says, what is the problem with you? Your problem is you are searching something in wrong place. That's all. So Vedanto dishati srotam. Vedanta shows us the srota, the very source, nityanandasya, of that eternal happiness. And where? Hridi, in your own heart. There is a very, very famous popular story, you must have heard also. Once, one elderly lady under the street light, searching something very vigorously. It's a very famous story. We have to think about it. But so when someone came and asked, what are you searching? But she didn't say anything. So he also started, without knowing what actually she was searching. And the her tendency that is, when two persons, the third, that also starts. You can see that you stand at the road of Buddha and you just look up just like that. You will have a crowd around you also. Everybody looking at that. And nobody knows what they are looking for. So everybody thought something precious must be there, If he gets, he'll pocket it and go away. Whatever it is. So, crowd gathered. Then, one person came and he asked, what are you searching? They said, we don't know what we are searching. Ultimately, he found out the founder of the search mission. Who is this founder? He went to that lady. What are you searching? First, she was not ready to speak also. But then she says, someone had given me a golden needle. Acha, golden needle. That is lost, I am searching. Very good. But tell me, where was it kept? Where was it lost? He said, in my hut. By the roadside, my hut is there. There it got lost. So then why are you searching it here? So you don't understand that much? in my hut there is darkness. You can search only where there is light. So here I saw light and therefore I am searching. You know, we may laugh at that lady, but we are doing that only. See, true, if the thing is lost and there is darkness, so where the light should be brought? Where it is lost and where darkness, there the light should be brought. Not anywhere light is there and then you just start. But that's what's happening. All our sense organs, they are lights. They are illumining the world of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, sound, color, taste, touch, form. And we want searching there only. You say, oh my dear Amma, you have to bring that light there. He said, that's what I wanted to teach that lesson to everybody. They think I'm a fool. I also know that. This is what you are doing, no? Wherever you see light, this lighting and illumination has got great fascination, isn't it? Firecrackers and illumination, people just go there to watch all that. So wherever our sense organs are illuminating the world of object, we just go there. But where it is lost? So Vedanta says, you want happiness, that is great. You want dukkha, that's also great. And you are striving for that, that also is wonderful. But in the wrong place. You know, Sant Tukaram Maharaj said one day, Tuza ahe tuza pashi, pari tu zaga chukalashi. This your wealth is with you only, but you have forgotten that place and you are searching the wrong place only. And therefore your search will not end like that. So where it is? Nityanandasya srotam dishati naha hridi, our own heart. What a peculiar thing. So we have to bring that light of knowledge in our heart. You know, there is a very beautiful, very shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 10th chapter. Bhagavan says, those who worship me with great love, then I light the lamp of knowledge in their heart. Bhagavan says that. I give them that light of knowledge in their heart, not somewhere else. So that source of happiness is in your own heart. And in our empirical world also, you know, object, if you just think, people go for outing, people go for world tour, this, that, but only when they come back to their home only they feel very happy or not. They say, home, sweet home. Right? Now, otherwise also say, when they are very, very tired and then we have to go to sleep, there is no pleasure anywhere outside or anything, but what a wonderful sleep. And even externally also when we enjoy some object, our eyes automatically get closed. Why your eyes get closed? Because actually that ananda came from within only. Right? Now it is said that your own Atma, which is dearmost to you, that is Ananda Swarupa. Huh? Now how do you say that Atma is only Ananda Swarupa? How do you prove that? Huh? So now here, next two shlokas. Atmanatma padarthaustaha
Atmanatma अनात्मपदार्थौ स्तः
जगत्यस्मिन् विलोकय
जगत्यस्मिन् विलोकय
अनात्मविषये क्वापि
अनात्मविषये क्वापि
सुखं नास्ति कदाचन
सुखं नास्ति कदाचन
अनुभूतमिदं सर्वैः
अनुभूतमिदं सर्वैः
जनैरत्र पुनः पुनः
जनैरत्र पुनः पुनः
सुखस्वरूप आत्मैव
सुखस्वरूप आत्मैव
सिद्धं तत्पारिशेषतः
सिद्धं तत्पारिशेषतः.
How the Vedanta says, you see here, Atma anatmau padarthau staha jagati asmin vilokaya. Vilokaya. You see, asmin jagati, in this world, there are two factors. Two things, two factors. One is called Atma, Anatma. Atma, we have to say Atma means subject. I. The one who is the knower, the experiencer, the owner of everything. That I. Only true nature we don't know, but I is one thing. And second is Anatma. Other than this I subject, called object. The whole world of objects. Only two things are there. Right? Yes. And just now we saw, we all are searching for that kind of happiness, fulfillment, contentment, peace and all that in the world of objects only. And when we say world of objects, please remember, they can be material objects, they can be things, they can be beings, they can be people other than ourselves. So we think that this object did not give me joy, maybe this object will give. This place did not give me joy, maybe that place will give. This person did not give me joy, maybe that person will give. So vastu, vyakti, paristhiti, we go on changing all that. Right? Vastu means object, vyakti means people, paristhiti means outer situation, go on and on and on. But after doing all that also, anatma vishaye kwapi sukham nasti. And that anatma means in the world of objects, sukham nasti kadacha. There is no. Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, nasti tato sukha lesha satyam. When a wee bit of happiness is not there, even sometimes say sukha se gandha matram api nasti. Then not even a smell of sukham that is there, And this is interesting. Anubhutam idam sarvai janaihi. Puna. Again and again, all people have experienced this factor. See, if it was there, then once you get it, then there should be total contentment and all that. Then why should you go out? See, what is sukham? Sukham is that we should eliminate all your sorrow. But in all our worldly sukham, yes, it is there. But what is there is comfort. What is there is sensation. What is there is pleasure. What is a temporary kind of satisfaction. But that does not remove our discontentment, limitation and sorrow. That is not there. But sometimes there is a thrill. And the people say, we are going to chill out. Chill out means chill out. Shout, scream loudly and all that. That's what it means, I think. And for sometimes they get tired. मिल गई शांति, हर काय की शांति चली हो nothing. Anubhutam idam sarvam. And this is again and again. That before getting something, I always thought when I get that, I will be wonderful. But after getting it, again same thing. Then again this, again that, goes on and on and on. So now you see, the logic is very simple. There are only two things. One is Atma, one is Anatma. One is the subject, I, and other is the object. Two things are there. Correct? And we are trying to find out Sukham outside world, right? But it is not found. But we have the experience of Sukham. That is the interesting part. Isn't it? See, Sukhanubhav is there. And therefore, if somebody says, you have not found it, well, learn to live with all these sorrows and all that. That also I can't. But because we have experienced that Sukham. So we know that there is such a thing called Sukham, and for which only we are all the time striving. So Sukhanubhav is there, right? But that Sukham which we want, everlasting, eternal, abiding and all that, that is not found in this. So Sukham is there, but it is not in the object. Then where it can be? It is called Parishesha Nyaya. Parishesha means the maximum of remainder. If two things are there, subject and object, and if that Sukham is not in the object, then only remaining factor is subject. It must be you only. That's why Sukha Swarupa Atma eva siddham tat parisheshataha. Parishesha means that niyama, that law or maximum of remainder. Remainder. Whatever is remaining now, only two things are there, subject, object. In object it is not there, so it must be only the subject. So Sukha Swarupa Atma eva siddham. This can be proved in many ways also. Do you know, if dukkha was our nature, we would not have tried to get rid of it. Huh? Right? Whatever we try to get rid of, that means that's not my nature. Do you want to get rid of Sukham? I'm bored with this Sukham, now, I just want to get rid of it. I want some sorrow. No. That means that Sukha is your Swarupa. So now just think. Next shloka, you see. Anandatmanubhutya chet
Anandatmanubhutya chet
sarvam dukkham nivartate
sarvam dukkham nivartate
madhuryam tasya jnanasya
madhuryam tasya jnanasya
vaktavyam kimu shabdataha.
vaktavyam kimu shabdataha.
Now, if Anandanu Atmanubhutya, I understood Ananda is my Swarup. So earlier what we saw, Atma is Priyatama. Atma, our own Swarupa, we love the most. And that Atma which we love the most is Ananda Swarupaha. And if Ananda as Atmanubhutya, Sarvam Dukkham Nivartate, if all sorrows end, and there are a list of so many Mahatmas, the world, not only in India, everywhere. Those who were great Mahatmas, they were happy just like that. Huh? So it is said, if by that direct experience of Ananda Atma, if sorrows end and Ananda, Madhuryam tasya jnanasya kimu vaktavyam shabdada. How much one can describe the sweetness of that knowledge in words and through words? By knowing that Priyatama Atma is Ananda Swarupaha. And whatever Ananda, that only we love the most. And we love the Atma Ananda most, and that shows that it is Ananda Swarupa. So that Priyatama Atma, which is me, that Ananda Swarupa, and that is what knowledge is given by Vedanta. What more sweetness you want then? Then afterwards, things are there, things are not there, people are there, people are not there, this situation is not there, that is there, that it makes absolutely no difference. That means what do you know? Sarvam paravasham dukkham. Sarvam atmavasham sukham. As long as our sukham depends upon any kind of thing other than ourselves, it is dukkham only. Paravasham dukkham. Atmavasham sukham. But if you come to know you yourself is Ananda Swarupa, then sukham only there. No dependence on the outside world. That does not mean that man does not eat or does not wear clothes or does not live. That's not a point. But his Ananda is not depending on that. That's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya wrote, Yogaratova, Bhogaratova, Sangaratova, Sangavihina. Whether he is in meditation or whether he is seeing the world, whether he is with the crowd or all alone, whatever condition of the body, etc. may be there, but yes, the Brahmani Ramate Chittam, but whose mind revels in that Ananda Swarupa, Brahma Atma, Nandati, Nandati, Nandati. That person alone rejoices, rejoices, rejoices. Nandati, Nandati. So, Madhuryam of Vedanta is very clear. Now, we'll continue our another line of thinking. First we saw Priyatamatma. That Priyatamatma is Anandatma. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti
Shanti Shanti.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi.
स्वागतं 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 गणपते हृदयाय जितेन्द्रियाय तेजस्विने स्वागतम् उदार हृदयाय जितेन्द्रियाय तेजस्विने स्वागतम् जनप्रियाय धीमते धैर्यप्रदाय स्वागतम् जनप्रियाय स्वागतं प्रसन्नात्मने बहुभक्ताय मनोहराय स्वागतं विनयशीलाय शान्ताय शान्तिप्रदाय स्वागतं विनयशीलाय शान्ताय शान्तिप्रदाय स्वागतं निगग पमगरिग पप तपमग पद सनि दपद गणि सनि निगग पमगरिग पप तपमग पद सनि दपद गणि सनि रिग पमगरि सग पद सरि रे गणि सनि दनि सनि दप पमगरिग
अजं निर्विकल्पं निराकारमेकं निरानन्दमानन्दमद्वैतपूर्णं परं निर्गुणं निर्विशेषं निरीहं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम
गुणातीतमानं चिदानन्दरूपं चिदाभासकं सर्वगं ज्ञानगम्यं मुनिध्येयमाकाशरूपं
जगत्कारणं कारणज्ञानरूपं सुरादिं सुखादिं गुणेशं गणेशं जगद्व्यापिनं विश्ववन्द्यं सुरेशं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम
रजो योगतो ब्रह्मरूपं श्रुतिज्ञं सदा कार्यसक्तं हृदाचिन्त्यरूपं जगत्कारणं सर्वविद्यानिदानं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं
सुरारीन् हरन्तं जगत्पालयन्तम् अनेकावतारं निजाज्ञानहारं सदा विश्वरूपं गणेशं नमामः।
तमोयोगिनं रुद्ररूपं त्रिनेत्रं जगद्धारकं तारकं ज्ञानहेतुम् अनेकागमै स्वं जनं बोधयन्तं सदा सर्वरूपं गणेशं नमामः।
अजं निर्विकल्पं निराकारमेकं निरानन्दमानन्दमद्वैतपूर्णं परं निर्गुणं निर्विशेषं निरीहं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम। अजं निर्विकल्पं निराकारमेकं निरानन्दमानन्दमद्वैतपूर्णं परं निर्गुणं निर्विशेषं निरीहं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम।
सत्स्वरूपं जगद्धेतुरूपं सदा विश्वरूपं गणेशं नतास्मः।
त्वदीये मनस्तापयेदङ्घ्रियुग्मे जनो विघ्नसङ्घातपीडां लभेत लसत्सूर्यबिम्बे विशाले स्थितोऽयं जनो ध्वान्तपीडा कथं वा लभेत। वयं भ्रामिता सर्वथा ज्ञानयोगादलब्धास्तवां वर्षपूर्वम् इदानीमवाप्तास्तवैव प्रसादात् प्रपन्नां सदा विश्वं भराद्य। अजं निर्विकल्पं निराकारमेकं निरानन्दमानन्दमद्वैतपूर्णं परं निर्गुणं निर्विशेषं निरीहं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम। परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम। परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम।
लव करये लव करये गणराया सकळासी भेटी द्याया।
नाचत नाचत
घागुळ्या वाजती, पायी घागुळ्या वाजती, पायी घागुळ्या वाजती, पायी घागुळ्या वाजती.
नाचत नाचत आले गणपती,
नाचत नाचत आले गणपती,
नाचत नाचत
नाचत नाचत नाचत नाचत आले गणपती. पायी घागुळ्या वाजती, पायी घागुळ्या वाजती, पायी घागुळ्या वाजती.
अंगी शेंदुराची उठी, अंगी शेंदुराची, अंगी शेंदुराची, अंगी शेंदुराची उठी.
माथा शोभतसे किरीटी, माथा शोभतसे किरीटी.
केशर कस्तुरी ललाटी, केशर कस्तुरी ललाटी.
हाती मोदकाची वाटी, हाती मोदकाची वाटी, हाती मोदकाची, हाती मोदकाची, हाती मोदकाची वाटी.
नाचत नाचत आले गणपती,
नाचत नाचत आले गणपती,
नाचत नाचत
नाचत नाचत नाचत नाचत आले गणपती. पायी घागुळ्या वाजती, पायी घागुळ्या वाजती, वाजती, पायी घागुळ्या वाजती. तुका म्हणे पाही पाही, तुका म्हणे पाही पाही, विठ्ठल गणपती तुझा नाही, विठ्ठल गणपती तुझा नाही. विठ्ठल 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 विठ्ठल
गणपती 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 गणपती
विठ्ठल 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 विठ्ठल
गणपती 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 गणपती
विठ्ठल विठ्ठल
गणपती गणपती
विठ्ठल विठ्ठल
गणपती गणपती
विठ्ठल
गणपती
विठ्ठल
गणपती
विठ्ठल
गणपती
विठ्ठल
गणपती
विठ्ठल गणपती तुझा नाही, विठ्ठल गणपती तुझा नाही.
तुझा नाही, तुझा नाही, तुझा नाही, तुझा
गं गणपतये नमः, गं गणपतये नमः, गं गणपतये नमः, गं गणपतये नमः. विनायकाय नमः, विघ्नराजाय नमः, गौरीपुत्राय नमः, गणेश्वराय नमः, स्कन्दाग्रजाय नमः, अव्ययाय नमः, भूताय नमः, दक्षाध्यक्षाय नमः,
द्विजप्रियाय नमः, अग्निगर्भच्छिदे नमः,
इन्द्रश्रीप्रदाय नमः, वाणीबलप्रदाय नमः,
शर्वतनयाय नमः, गौरीतनुजाय नमः,
शर्वरीप्रियाय
शूरधराय नमः शूर्पकर्णाय नमः वीरवाय नमः ब्रह्मवित्तमाय नमः कालाय नमः गृहपतये नमः कामिने नमः पाशाङ्कुशधराय नमः छन्दाय नमः गुणातीताय नमः निरञ्जनाय नमः अकल्मषाय नमः बीजापुरकराय नमः अव्यक्ताय नमः यदिने नमः ॐ वरदाय नमः शाश्वताय नमः ॐ कृतिने नमः विद्वत्प्रियाय नमः मितभयाय नमः चक्रिणे नमः इक्षुचापधृते नमः गङ्गणपतये नमः गङ्गणपतये नमः गङ्गणपतये नमः गङ्गणपतये नमः सूरातिलोचनाय नमः स्वयं सन्दाय फलकराय नमः श्रीधाय नमः हेतवे नमः स्तुतिहर्षताय नमः ॐ कालाद्भृते नमः जटिने नमः चन्द्रचूडाय नमः अमरेश्वराय
भज मन रामं श्रीरामं भज मन रामं श्रीरामं श्यामल कोमल नयनाभिरामं श्यामल कोमल नयनाभिरामं भज मन रामं श्रीरामं भज मन रामं श्रीरामं भरतलक्ष्मण पूजित रामं भरतलक्ष्मण पूजित रामं मारुति सेवित मनोभिरामं मारुति सेवित मनोभिरामं पंकजलोचन प्रभु सीतारामं पंकजलोचन प्रभु सीतारामं भज मन रामं श्रीरामं भज मन रामं श्रीरामं श्यामल कोमल नयनाभिरामं श्यामल कोमल नयनाभिरामं भज मन रामं श्रीरामं भज मन रामं श्रीरामं भरतलक्ष्मण पूजित रामं भरतलक्ष्मण पूजित रामं मारुति सेवित मनोभिरामं मारुति सेवित मनोभिरामं पंकजलोचन प्रभु सीतारामं पंकजलोचन प्रभु सीतारामं राम नाम कीर्तन करे भक्त जन नृत्य करे भगवान राम नाम में मगन हुए जन नाम प्रेम में मगन हुए जन बिसरे देव का पान बिसरे देव का पान राम नाम श्री राम नाम जय राम नाम कीर्तन करे भक्त जन नृत्य करे भगवान राम नाम कीर्तन करे भक्त जन नृत्य करे भगवान आओ मिलकर भजन करे सब आओ मिलकर भजन करे सब मधुर मधुर गुण गान मधुर मधुर गुण गान राम नाम श्री राम नाम जय राम नाम कीर्तन करे भक्त जन नृत्य करे भगवान राम नाम कीर्तन करे भक्त जन नृत्य करे भगवान प्रभु चरणों में अर्पण सब हो प्रभु चरणों में अर्पण सब हो अपना तन मन प्राण अपना तन मन प्राण राम नाम श्री राम नाम जय राम नाम कीर्तन करे भक्त जन नृत्य करे भगवान राम नाम कीर्तन करे भक्त जन नृत्य करे भगवान नृत्य करे भगवान नृत्य करे भगवान नृत्य करे भगवान नृत्य करे
राम 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 श्री राम 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 जय राम 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 जय जय राम जय रघुराम राम जयं श्री राम जयं जय जय राम जय रघुराम राम जयं श्री राम जयं राम जयं श्री राम जयं सीताराम श्री रघुराम सीताराम श्री रघुराम कल्याण राम कोदंड राम कल्याण राम कोदंड राम राम जयं श्री राम जयं राम जयं श्री राम जयं निसा 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 पनि सगरी निसा 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 पनि सगरी निसा 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 पनि सगरी निसा निसा निसा
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउँ रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। The Ayodhya Kand of the Ramayana is very significant because herein we understand not only what is Dharma, what constitutes Dharma, how these great people lived Dharma, but also what is Param Dharma. That is the beauty of this Ayodhya Kand. In Ayodhya Kand, we begin to see the greatness not only of Ramchandra ji, Dashrath Maharaj, Lakshman, Sita, Bharat, Shatrughan, Urmila. We begin to see the greatness of all these things and how each one determined their duty and followed Dharma. As I said, most of you know the story of the Ramayana, but these subtle aspects we will be covering. Now, there were such celebrations, there was such joy, such happiness. The four brothers loved each other. They came with their four wives. There was celebration all throughout Ayodhya because those days they loved their people and the people loved their kings. And therefore at that time, it was like it was a family celebration. It is said also that Janak Maharaj did not want to leave them. Anyway, for any father, especially when his daughter departs, lovely portions are there of instructions that the mothers give, the father gives. And Janak Maharaj, who is called as Videha Raja, but for his daughter, even he loses his, in a way, equipoise. And why not? Yeah. He doesn't want to leave them, but they have to go. He also understands. And having given lots of gifts, etc., when they leave for Ayodhya and the celebrations in Ayodhya, till one day when Dashrath Maharaj, sitting on the throne, his crown slipped and he looked into the mirror to straighten his crown and he realized that the hair besides the ear were becoming grey. And you know how discreet is Bhagwan. See, you'll notice as you grow older that first the hair starts becoming grey from your ears because it's already kind of telling you age is dawning. Wake up. Dashrath Maharaj saw that and he thought, now is the time that I should hand over the kingdom and start deciding who will be the crowned prince, who will become the king, the crowned king. So he was thinking about it. He consulted his ministers, his council, the guru, and also knew, because Ramchandraji had already taken up the responsibility of the kingdom and had won the hearts of everyone. He was already helping with all the administration. So even the people wanted it. When Dashrath Maharaj heard all the praises for Ramchandraji from the public, from his council, he went to his guru and said that I think it is time. And the guru said, certainly, it is time. And he said, what if I make Ramchandraji into the king? And Vasishtha said, there could be never a better thought. People love him. He has proven himself to be such a great administrator. So let him, and sooner the better. So he said, then you please find out the right date. And Vasishtha says, that day is auspicious, the day Ramchandraji is crowned the king or sits on the throne. But you know, such lovely messages sometimes we do not understand. So he said that let's do it quickly, let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow itself. Now Bharat and Shatrughan had gone to Kaikai Rajya because his grandmother wanted to see him. So he had gone there. And Dashrath Maharaj, so enthusiastic, let's do it tomorrow. But there's a saying, Kaal kare so, aaj kare so, ab. Pal mein pralay hogi. Fir karoge kab? Yeah. Anything, any good thought, do it immediately. Especially charity, I'm telling you. No, really. Because the moment your hand goes into the pocket, it won't come out. Yeah. It is like that. Anything good. You want to start your sadhana, your japa, start it today. If you say, I'll do it tomorrow, it's not going to happen. Because tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow is also going to be today. If today you can't do it, tomorrow which becomes today will not happen also. Of course, practical reasons. He said, get all the waters from all the places, etc. and let us have the Abhishekim. Let's make him the crown prince. Right away. Now, he announced it in the court. He had not yet gone to the home to announce it to anybody. But he announced it in the court because all the council, but even if you don't announce it to the public, word to travels. You think now social media, society's media is very fast. Word traveled. While Kaikai had her governess mantra. The very word mantra means one who moves very slowly. She was hunched back. She would move slowly, but not only physically, but even mentally. So one who creeps in slowly is called as mantra. Mantra, when she heard this, that Ramchandraji is going to be made the king, she definitely did not like it. because her queen, Kaikai, if she becomes Rajmata, queen mother, then her status also will become good. And you see, most people in this world only think about I and my, me. That is all what people think about. When it comes to the nation, when it comes to the family, when it comes to the institution, very rarely people see what is the goal of the country, what is the goal of the institution, what is the because in the well-being of the country, every citizen's well-being takes place. But unfortunately, many people cannot get out, majority of the people in the world, right? Until you become spiritual really, it's all about me, my, etc. So I and my, unless we remove from the equation, we cannot have the welfare of the totality or majority. She comes back to Kaikai, and in Narad Bhakti Sutra it is said very clearly, that your company is very important. So whatever you do in your company is what company you keep. Now you see, Kaikai was very beautiful. And when you are beautiful, a certain vanity, we might say, will be natural, At the same time, she being the youngest queen, very beautiful, naturally was more charming, and Dashrath Maharaj would spend more time with her, and she liked the attention, because some people are attention seeking. So she liked the attention of Dashrath Maharaj, and Dashrath Maharaj also used to spend a lot more time with her. Mantra comes in, and Kaikai is getting ready for the evening for the king to come, and comes and says, "Do you know what is happening?" She said, "What?" When somebody tries to create kind of this thing, never listen to them. "Do you know what happened in so-and-so's house?" Don't ask what. "Do you know what people are talking about you?" Don't ask. If someone wants to give an honest feedback, we'll give straight away. So she says, "You are only interested in dressing yourself up and thinking that Dashrath Maharaj is yours." She tells first mantra, as crooked as your body, that crooked is your mind. Kaikai tells mantra also. But that whole conversation that goes on, that how slowly, slowly those who are devious can pollute your mind, and whatever little weaknesses you may have, and who doesn't have certain weaknesses, they know exactly how to play upon your weaknesses, play upon your ego, and rub it in. Mantra very slowly, steadily, but not giving up. Even so, Kaikai tells her once or twice, "Now go away from here, Don't tell me all these things." And she tells, you don't know, and lies over that. These people will try to exaggerate. From 14 days this is going on, and you think that Dashrath Maharaj is yours. She said, "What is going on?" She said, "Do you know that Dashrath Maharaj has planned to make Ramchandraji the king?" Oh, Kaikai was so happy that she takes out her pearl necklace and she says, "This is the greatest news you have given me." And she gives that to her and says, "The day my Ramchandraji becomes the king, I will dress your hunchback." And she says, you know, you've got beauty but no brains. Do you understand the implication of it? If Ramchandraji becomes the king, she said, so what? He is my son. And he loves me more than he loves his mother. It's all about me, finally, you know. But he loves, which is also Ramchandraji gave her. Even sons know, daughters know, whether daddy needs more affection or mummy needs affection more. No? Sometimes daddy is needed, sometimes mummy is needed. And she was always like that, you know, she wanted all that attention. But she was also a very loving mother and not an ordinary woman, because she's Bharat Mata. To give a birth to such a son also, she also has to be something. But all these stories are told to us that even a little weakness you have, the company that you keep can make a ripple into a tsunami. And in spite of saying that Ramchandraji will be the king, and the king has, or Dashrath Maharaj has not told you about it, therefore he's got some other things in mind. All this did not affect Kaikeyi. But when she started that, have you thought that Bharat will have to serve? That also she knows that Bharat loves. But your Bharat will become the servant. And all this time you think that you are the queen, but once Kaushalya Mata becomes the queen mother, the king's mother, basically putting into her that all the time that you have pulled Dashrath Maharaj away, and as you are, you think others to be. That little insecurity in Kaikeyi, that suddenly played upon her, and she said that you will be the servant of Kaushalya. No? And basically, then she will take revenge of everything that you have done to her. No? And when you have your own weaknesses, anybody can play upon it, and you superimpose on others. Even though she knows that Kaushalya was never do something like this, but when that insecurity comes in, then suddenly Kaikeyi's whole tune changes. And this has been going on, and this is all planning by Kaushalya. All this she puts in her mind. Therefore, never listen to these gossips about hatred of people for someone, always criticizing someone, finding faults in others. These are some things which are very important, because the slightest weakness, the slightest doubt you may have in your mind, or something that you have done wrong, you will start thinking that since you have done wrong, others are going to take revenge on you. All this insecurity when it comes in. And there are always people to, chabi marna. Yeah? Be very careful of such mantras. Kaikeyi then suddenly changes and says, in this whole world there is no one who is my friend like you are. Now what will happen? Tomorrow Ramchandraji will be made king. What do I do now? But these people know, they are very clever. If you take their policies positively, it is very good. She says time is not lost. There is one night. What can happen in one night? She says the world can turn upside down in, or right side up in one night. There is still time. So she said, what should I do? And mantra tells her what to do. And she also says the sequence in which it should be done. And she says, and she reminds her that you remember when you had gone into the battlefield. Now herein, please listen to what is there in the Ramayana. Were women not educated? She is a princess. She knew warfare. She knew also how to drive a tank. Yeah? Never ever say poor Indian woman. Yeah? Neither your mothers were poor, nor our grandmothers were poor. Poor is today's modern people, yeah, in their thinking. We have to think about it and don't allow such narrations to go on. Kaikai comes into the battlefield and saves Dashrath Maharaj's life. Not like that only she would have come there without knowing how to drive the chariot or the tank. They were called as chariots, but when you hear the war machines that they were, she was able to protect Dashrath and bring Dashrath back. Even Sita knew warfare, but they did not do it. But they were all prepared. So much so even Draupadi says, I'll go and fight Bhishma. Like that only she just showed off, is it? No? If you see the list of what Draupadi has done to win the love of her 5 husbands who will not do anything without consulting her. Satyabhama asked Draupadi, Krishna's wife, Satyabhama asked Draupadi, that even when your husbands are discussing, prudence, etc., niti, dharma, politics, even there they keep looking at you to look for your approval. What have you done? Have you given some magic potion to them? Or played some charm on mantra on them? Draupadi gets very offended, but lovingly says that don't ask for such things to keep your husband charmed. Those who do that, their husbands, they will ruin their husbands and they will ruin their wives, their lives. She gives the list of what all she did as the queen, pretty much manage hundreds, thousands of staff, knew each one by name. She lists what all she has done, and that is why her husbands look up to her with respect. No? Not in our society. Yeah. And don't get carried away by whatever propaganda is there. This Kaikai had saved Dashrath Maharaj's life, and that Dashrath Maharaj who had fought Star Wars. Yeah. And at that time, he had given her 2 boons. That ask me of any 2 things and I will give you. So much so that Kaikai had not even asked for those 2 boons. She had even forgotten about it. Because Dashrath Maharaj gave her everything. What was she lacking in? What did she actually need also? Even his love, his attention, and also she had her co-wives, everybody's love. But whenever there is some inner ego, some sense of minus, mantra played upon that. And then this Kaikai, mantra tells her, you remember that you have 2 boons from Dashrath Maharaj. That much also Kaikai had not remembered. She reminds her, now is the time to cash upon it. And she tells her also, with the first boon, ask for Bharat to become the king. And the second is that there is no opposition. Send Ramchandraji into the forest as a tapasvi. Send him away. She did not even say 14 years, huh? She said, send him away to the forest. But she says, how? And she tells her also the whole plan how to do it. And of course, that's the most dramatic portions that nowadays very people like to do Kaikai's role, because really it's dramatic. She tells her how to also do it. Dashrath Maharaj has just announced and he's come. It's not that he's hidden from Kaikai or any such thing. He's come home joyfully to tell Kaikai and expecting that Kaikai will be the most thrilled of all, even before Kaushalya comes to know. But of course, as I said, news reaches everywhere quickly. News has reached to Kaikai also. When Dashrath Maharaj walks in, all the maids are very, tense. And she's not in her chamber. And you can see how architecturally they were advanced. I mean, you have got living room, dining room, pantry room, kitchen room, bathroom. Bath is also a room now, All these things you have. But do you know how much you require is Kopa Bhavan? Anger room. Where there is nothing to throw around, or you can throw those things. So they said she's in the Kopa Bhavan. Dashrath Maharaj's feet started shaking. Kaikai in anger room? And still he can't resist himself. And I tell you, someone is angry, stay away. And never ask them, why are you angry? They may not be angry at you, but the anger will come upon you. That's why when I stay in people's home and the wife is angry or with the husband, or something like that, I try to ask, don't ask what happened, because I will have to hear the whole avalanche of it. But you don't ask also, that's a problem. You ask also, it's a problem. He walks inside the Kop Bhavan. She has thrown all her jewels everywhere. Dressed in a drab sari. She's lying down, weeping away. Dashrath Maharaj comes there, tries to console her, and the moment he touches her, she throws his hand off. Dashrath Maharaj tries to ask what happened. She refuses to speak. Finally, he could not bear himself. He even tells, and this is all mantras teaching to her. He tells us what has happened, who has offended you. And as a king, he should have never said, I am telling you, if anybody has offended you, even without, a hearing, I will sentence that person to death, And tell me, I make a promise, Raghukullarit sada chali ai, prana jai par vachana jai. I will do anything for you. The moment he said that, she said, You Raghuvamshis, so giving promises, you are very good. And glad you declare your honesty. He said, what did I do? What word? He said, you gave me the 2 boons. Have you fulfilled them? He said, this is the promise of Raghuvamshis. That if you have given a word, we will fulfill it. What is it that you want? She says, I don't want anything new. 2 boons you had given me. Yeah. So he said, ask for it. And she immediately said that make Bharat the king. For Dashrath Maharaj, both his sons are dear. But suddenly he's taken aback. He's stunned. And very cleverly Mantra had said, don't say the second part, because before he makes Bharat the king, if he dies, hearing that Ramchandraji has to go to the forest. So even that much they had thought over. And you see how devious the mind becomes, that she doesn't even care anymore that her husband is going to be alive or not, because she very well knows that without Ramchandraji, Dashrath cannot live. Yeah. That anger in her, that ego in her self-prestige, her I and my, she says, my Bharat should become the king. And immediately she says, and Ramchandraji goes to the forest for 14 years. Now, why 14 years? Because maybe she heard mantra say the lie that this all is going on for 14 years. 14 years also is a life sentence. Yeah? She is also a great politician and administrator. If she said for life sentence, maybe it will not happen. But 14 years, somebody has gone to the forest living as a tapasvi. He would become so weak, yeah, that he cannot be opponent. Meanwhile, Bharat would have established the kingdom, and public to really has got short memory. Whatever reason, she said 14 years. The moment Dashrath Maharaj heard this, he said, what has my Ramchandraji done? He too loves you even more than his own mother. Why? She says, well, you told me to ask for the boons, I asked. Now go. After all, you Raghuvanshis just love to say Raghukula Reet Sada Chali Ai Prana Jai Parvatan Na Jai, you know. Sarcastic. She goes on. Dashrath Maharaj cannot bear. He has given his word. But what will he do? How can he do this? He falls down there. He said, rethink, even if Bharat wants to be the king, I know my Ramchandraji will readily hand over the kingdom. But why? Why should he go to the forest? But Kaikai at that moment, so hard-hearted. And then Dashrath Maharaj looks at her and says, what are you asking? Have you even thought? And every mother who's a mother of a certain child will love the mother who loves her child. Dashrath Maharaj could not bear. How could he even tell this to Ramchandraji? Dashrath Maharaj so fainted there only. Early morning, when the minister Sumantra came to greet the king early in the morning, and he knew he was in Kaikai's chamber. Kaikai was standing outside, but whole demeanor of her body, Sumantra also got very perturbed. And he says, where's Maharaj? Maharaj is inside the inner chamber. He's just calling out, Ram, Ram, Ram. You go and quickly call Ram here. Sumantra ran to Ramchandraji and told that Maharaj is calling you. Didn't know what had happened there. He could probably peep through into the room and see that Dashrath Maharaj was lying there on the floor just saying Ram, 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 Ram. Ramchandraji comes running there immediately and finds his father lying down on the ground, just crying Ram, 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 and fainting again and again. He asks Mother Kaikai, Mother, what has happened to father? Why is he not talking to me? Have I done something wrong? There also she tells him, you can never do anything wrong. But however it is, he had given me 2 boons. Yeah. And now he cannot fulfill it. So you do it. Because she knows that Dashrath Maharaj will not be able to do it. It's not that Dashrath Maharaj sent Ramchandraji to the forest. But he had given 2 boons. And she says, the first boon is that Bharat becomes the king. Are Ramchandraji was so happy because even before that, that night when he heard that he is going to be the king, he went to his chamber not saying, yes, and all that excitement, oh, I am going to be the ruler of this, and all that. No. He goes and thinks. He says, everything is great in Raghuvamshis, but why did my father choose me? My Bharat also, all my brothers are capable of ruling the kingdom. Is it because I'm just the eldest son that he has given me the kingdom? Should not get Bharat also get? This is what Ramchandraji is thinking. So when he heard that Bharat would become the king, he said, by all means, my Bharat will rule the kingdom well. He never had the ego that I can rule the kingdom well. My Bharat will rule the kingdom well. And she said, and you have to go as a tapasvi, which means not to go into any city, town, etc., in the forest. Seeing his father's condition, Ramchandra said, Mother, father did not have to, you didn't have to trouble father for that. Your command is God's command to me. You would have just told me and I would have done it. He goes to Dashrath Maharaj. Dashrath Maharaj says, don't listen to this evil woman. Do not listen to her. No. But Ramchandraji walks out quietly from there. Goswami Tulsidas Ji in the introduction of the Ayodhya Kand says, I meditate, I salute that face of Ramchandraji, that ever gentle smiling face of Ramchandraji, that neither got excited on hearing the news that he is going to be the king, and neither did any way it fade in his smile and his teja when he heard that he has to go 14 years into the forest. When Ramchandraji comes home, Kaushalya Mata is waiting to receive her son as the king. And he has to break the news to her. And even there, this is called as Shilta. Shil. Along with Satya, there should be Shil. She is waiting to receive her son as the king. He could have come and said, Mother, do you know that other woman of your husband? She has claimed the kingdom, usurped the kingdom, and sent me to the forest in exile. And it would be the truth. But truth also has to be spoken in a gentle manner. Satya Sila Drida Dvaja Pataka. When Ramchandraji advises to Vibhishan, don't say that, I'm telling the truth, I'm frank about it. Fatak, I tell the truth. Satyam vada, hitam vada, priyam vada. Yeah. Truth should be said straightforward. But to the best of your capacity, it must be said in such a manner that it doesn't hurt. That is effective communication of truth. But always for the well-being of everyone. These three things should be there. Satyam vada, hitam vada, and priyam vada. See how Ramchandra said Kaushalya. If he had said like that, he would have agitated Kaushalya's mind. He would have not helped Kaushalya, who anyway is going to be miserable knowing that her son has to go to the forest for 14 years. Bharat becomes the king Really speaking, even Kaushalya would not have minded. But why Ramchandra has to go to the forest for 14 years? Separating one mother from her child, is that called as a mother? After that, nobody will call them daughters as Kaikai or their mother as Kaikai. This Kaikai means, a peacock. Beautiful as a peacock. But her vanity, see what it caused her. See what Ramchandraji tells. See, this is called as Shilta. Pita Deena Mohe Kanan Raju. Father has given me the kingdom of the forest. He's not telling any lie. He's not sweet coating, white truth. A white lie. Not white truth, white lie. Pita Deena Mohe Kanan Raju. And by that, my well-being only will take place. See the attitude that whatever happens, happens for the best. That my good only will take place. Of course, Kaushalya Mata was stunned. What happened? And she says also, according to the scriptures also, mother's word, Matru Devo Bhava, then Pitru Devo Bhava. If this is the status our Vedas have given, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava. She says, as far as it comes to children, it is mother's word that is final. And she, who has been a devoted wife and has a respected husband, respects her husband, she says, I tell you not to go. But Ramchandraji looks at her and said, then can our father become a liar? And that also as a wife, she cannot do, because she's got her duty towards her husband also. And he says, no, I will follow father's word. She says also, this is Kaikai's doing, no? But he says, no, mother, I should follow my duty. At that time, Sita hears the news and she comes. And with respect, she comes there with tears in her eyes and tells, taking permission from Kaushalya Mata. When she sees Sita, she looks at her, says, you will go to the forest, what will I tell this little girl? How will I console her? Kaikeyi did not even think what will happen to another woman. What will I do of her? How am I going to console her? Sita just says, I'll go to the forest with you. Ramchandraji, knowing that how difficult it was, and finally it was, the boon that Kaikeyi took, it's a command for him to go to the forest. So he discourages Sita. First by saying that in the forest there will be wild animals, there will be rakshasas, and it's not a safe place for a woman. She says, if you are there, why should I be afraid? Yeah? I mean, that is pretty much your responsibility. And at the same time, if you are in such dangerous situation, can I be comfortable here? Very gently she says, so more so ever I should go with you. Then Ramchandraji gives her a little lecture on duty. And he says, see, you stay here. That is only because he doesn't want Sita to suffer because of what he has to do as his duty. He tells her that, your duty is that you be in the palace, look after your mother-in-law, father-in-law, because they are parents now from now onward. You look after them. there see Sita. In Valmiki Ramayana, so she clearly, Tulsidas ji is Maryada Kavi. Valmiki Ramayana, she just says, my mother has taught me my duties. That when we took the Saptapadis, when we took the round the fire, that in joy or in sorrow, in pleasure or in pain, in success or in failure, I'll always be with you. So basically, I know my duties. Now you think that Sita would become a victim. And that too also at that age when she was still so young. She says, my mother has taught me my duty. And my duty is to go with you. He looks at Kaushalya Mata, please explain to her. She says, what will I explain to her? She cannot stay without you. Meanwhile, Lakshman heard the news and he came angry and he says that, tell me, I will go and create a revolt, typical youngster. I'll create a revolt. Ramchandraji says, no. Remember one thing. We are not helping the nation if, first of all, our father. And we know how noble our father is. Plus, our father is the king of the country. And the son only creates revolt against the father. Then what will happen? That's why in Mahabharata also, why did Bhishma not stand up at that time? Because if he stood up at that time, the whole kingdom would have collapsed there and then. And without an administrator at that time, we have to finally, he said, no, you're not going to do any such thing. And then Bhagwan explained to him, which later on Lakshman explains to Guha. Kahu na kahu sukha dukha kar data, nijkirit karma bhoga sababrata. And that's called as Lakshman Gita. And based on that only, in our life management techniques, we have given on how to deal with tragedies and sorrows in our life. It's very important to know that, otherwise people break down. What is that ideas? What is that values? What is that culture? What is that strength we have to develop during our childhood and youth age? Because life, if today there is success, tomorrow it can be failure, isn't it? Today the markets are going up, next day or next hour the markets can fall and you can lose everything. Today you're promoted as CEO and the next day the recession hits in and they can't afford you. Life can be with its ups and downs. But what is the attitude of these great people? That even in the tragedies of life, they did not compromise their dharma. Yeah? Kaushalya Mata says, you know Lakshman cannot live without you. Ramchandraji is like, why do they have to? But Lakshman said, I will either burn the whole Ayodhya, in that language kind of, but I am not going to stay in Ayodhya. Yeah. And how can such a boon be even given by our father? But father had not given such a boon, no. He too said, I will go and fight for it. I will go and do this. Bhagwan calmed him and Lakshman just said, you take with me. He said, but you have to go and ask Mother Sumitra. He goes to Mother Sumitra because without mother's permission, he goes to Mother Sumitra. But if Kaushalya was so great to accept her husband's boon as well as her son's living up to his duty and sending both Sita and Lakshman. But Kaushalya Mata says, goes and asks Mother Sumitra, But Sumitra Mata, to again unknown to people, but how great she is. Here to whatever said, the boon had to be fulfilled that Ramchandraji has to go to the forest. But Lakshman didn't have to go to the forest. But look at the greatness of Sumitra. 2 sons, one in the service of Ram, one in the service of Bharat. She to immediately, and if she says no, again, Lakshman cannot disobey. One side is father's word, you cannot disobey. Now father's word is not that he goes to the forest. But now if mother says no, again he will be in a dilemma. So he goes and says, Are Sumitra Mata, what she says? She says, son, if Ramchandraji is not in Ayodhya, where Ram is there is Ayodhya. And if Ram is not in Ayodhya, you have no business here. Your life is only service of Ram. Go, my son. There are people who don't even ask. But as great is Sita, who follows her husband into the forest for him to do his duty. That great is Urmila, who does not go to forest so that her husband can do his duty. And her sacrifice is even greater. Sita, to support her husband doing the duty, goes to the forest. But the duty that Lakshman is going for is to serve. And what must be the attunement? Neither Lakshman is said to have gone and asked Urmila, knowing that Urmila will understand, and nor has Urmila over the years said anything. Why did she not go to the forest? Because Lakshman will have to look after her. How will he serve? She is Sada Dharma Charini. No? Look at how they were clear about their duties. They come there, and as they come to take blessings of Dashrath Maharaj, Kaikai she knew that neither Sita is going to stay back, neither Lakshman is going to. She has prepared the wardrobe made up of bark clothes, not only for Ramchandraji, but for Sita and Lakshman. Dashrath Maharaj says, Ramchandraji, don't obey me. You are such an obedient son, don't obey me. But she's just standing there telling Ramchandraji. Meanwhile, Sumantra, even sage Vashishta is saying, what's wrong with you, Kaikai? Can you see the disaster? Vashishji is furious. She doesn't care what the Guru is thinking, saying. She, at that moment in her anger, gives these bark clothes. Ramchandraji immediately dons them. Sita doesn't know how to wear these clothes. She's in tears because she doesn't know how to wear these clothes. Ramchandraji on her clothes only puts this. And as she removes her jewels, because her husband is going as tapasvi, just as Parvati removed her jewels. When she was removing her jewels, Dashrath Maharaj said, no, my daughter, you are a Suhagan. You should never be without any of these jewels. I brought a princess in my house to make her a queen, not to make her into a wanderer. You promise me you will not take out your jewels. Kaikai wanted this whole thing to go on quickly before any other obstacles come, and told us, Ramchandraji, go quickly. Ramchandraji took the blessings. Dashrath Maharaj weeping away, telling Kaikai, you know I will not live. Tells Sumantra that you take him with you and then just take him to Sarveshananda river and bring him up. Because after all, time, and this is where you learn what they have understanding. Time is a relative concept. These words are there in these stories. 14 years can be 14 months can be 14 minutes. Take him to Sarveshananda river and this is done. Ramchandraji says, no, Father, we should not compromise on Dharma by using science. He didn't use the word science, but I'm telling you, compromise on Dharma. 14 years is 14 years. Kaikai tells him, now go quickly, your father is feeling so much pain. Ramchandraji quickly leaves from, they're taking the blessings of his parents, including Kaikai. He doesn't say a harsh word to Kaikai. He just leaves from there. Sumantra, the minister, was also like a friend to Dashrath Maharaj and like an uncle to Ramchandraji. Dashrath Maharaj says, I know my son, he will fulfill this thing, but you bring him back. And the whole of Ayodhya is weeping. Whole of Ayodhya. And Dashrath Maharaj says to Kaikai, now she wanted to keep Dashrath Maharaj for herself. He just said, Kaushalya, just take me away from here. I do not want to see this woman's face again. And goes to the chamber of Kaushalya, but he could not get up from the bed. Still Kaikai, hard-hearted, just sits there in her chambers, royally, that now my son is going to be the king. Dashrath Maharaj is taken to Kaushalya Mata's chamber. Sumantra takes a chariot. All the Ayodhya Vasis abandoning their homes. If Ram is gone, what is there in Ayodhya? From every house, as many people could leave. Those who could not leave, they are saying, blessed are you. Go with Ramchandraji. Don't think about us. Wish we could also go. Whether the elderly or the others who could not go. From children to youth, husband, wives, many, as many could leave, left with Ramchandraji to the forest. And the family members said, blessed that you can go. We'll have to sit here suffering. When Bhagwan leaves from there, it is night already. People are, tired. So they rest for some time in the forest. And while they are resting in the forest, Ramchandraji gets up and tells Sumantra that quickly, and they knew how to change the tracks of the chariot, and with that strategy, quickly, while everybody else was sleeping, they went away. When the Ayodhya Vasis got up, because he didn't want them to take trouble, he didn't want them to stay away from the family. So much was their love that they were weeping for Ramchandraji. They left their homes for Ramchandraji. They were ready to go and stay in the forest for Ramchandraji. But Ramchandraji did not want them to be troubled. They did that out of love. But what is Ramchandraji? He didn't want them to be troubled. They were going to leave Ayodhya for me. He went. On the way, he meets Guha, who was the chief of the boatmen, one of the tribals there. And Bhagwan and he were friends. Guha meets Ramchandraji. He's the chief of the tribes there. He's the king of the tribes. When he finds that Ramchandraji, Lakshmana and Sita have come, he falls on the feet of Ramchandraji and says that, of course, news has traveled. That, so what if Ayodhya has abandoned you? The king and queen of Ayodhya has abandoned you. My kingdom is your kingdom. You rule here. I will serve you. Ramchandra says, no, the boon is that I will remain in the forest for 14 years as a tapasvi. And when Guha, out of hay, makes that bed for Ram, Sita to lie down, and Lakshman and he are standing guard, Guha weeps. And he says, what is the use of all those satin and silk of the palaces where the prince and the princess of the family are sleeping on this hard ground? And he says some harsh words about Kaikai. That Lakshman, who himself had said harsh words, then gives him the knowledge that Ramchandraji gave him, that how to deal with sorrows in your life. In our life management techniques, it is there, but if we go into that subject, that itself is a 3-day talk. Guha is consoled. Whenever somebody has got sorrow, you must give that knowledge by which their sorrows will come to an end, not that you will confirm their sorrows. He explained to him how to view life's situation. And this is how Ramchandraji had taught him. Guha is calmed down, but he can't stop feeling sorrow. But at least his grievance comes to an end. And there, whole night, they're sitting and talking about Ramchandraji and Sita, while the prince and the princess, lies on a bed of stones. So stone-hearted had Kaikai become, that Ramchandraji is living in such difficulties. And oh, that Ramchandraji, daughter like Sita. But that time Kaikai had not. In this world, no, if women protect women, no woman in this world can be tortured or suffered by anybody. But she did not even care that much. Then, of course, Bhagwan gets up. He mats his hair up because he's not going to get shampoo, etc. As a tapasvi. And he also mats the hair of Lakshman. Guha is in tears. But these two young men, firm to their word. Meanwhile, they reach the banks of the river. And there, of course, yesterday you already saw that Kevat's story. They reach the river. And Bhagwan tells Sumantra, you go back. Sumantra says, how will I go back? I will go with you. He says, no, this time father needs you more than anybody. Go back. Sumantra is weeping. The horses would not move. And Ramchandraji comes on the bank of the river and calls out to Kevat, and Kevat will not bring the boat. Why? Because the dust of your feet has got magic. My boat will become some pretty woman and go away to some rishi. And why did he do that? For us to understand what love is. And that we will see in the evening. And meanwhile, what happens to Dashrath Maharaj? Let's leave. We can't leave Dashrath Maharaj suffering. But when Sumantra returns later on, Dasrath Maharaj gives away his life. I mean, not he commits, but he cannot remain, and he passes on. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Swamiji, for that message of Dharma, message of duties and responsibilities, the message of equanimity faced with disaster and difficulties and sorrows. So those of you who are following the Tulsi Ramayana, we are around Doha number 100 of the Ayodhya Kanda. I have a few quick announcements before we do the morning Aarti. Online auction for the Ramayana book of calligraphy art by Swami Sarveshananda is on. And copies of the book are available for sale online as well. Please consider participating in the Aradhana Day Puja on Wednesday, August 3rd. The details are available on our camp website, msc2022.cmdfw.org. The new MP3 pen drives of lectures and bhajans are available in addition to the books at our bookstore. And finally, the Yajmans and Aarti sponsors are Pramukh Yajman, Pankaj and Manisha Asundi, Daily Yajmans, Rahul Bharadwaj, Srinivas Nalanthi, and Subhash Sharma. Morning Aarti sponsors are Anu Vakkalagadda, Nanik Hemrajni, Narottam and Sudha Saxena, Srinivas Nukala, Preeti Mehul Sheth, Sitaram Kauta, Sudha Dasri, Darshana Rani and family. So if you are here in person for the morning Aarti, as well as daily Yajmans and Pramukh Yajmans, please come forward for the Aarti. Thank you and Hari Om.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की। आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद बाल्मीक विज्ञान विशारद सुख सनकादि शेष सारद बरनी पवन सुत कीरतिनी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश चहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस मुनिजन धन संतन को सरबस सार अंश सम्मत सब ही की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की गावत संतत शंभु भवानी अर्घट संभव मुनि विज्ञानी प्यास आदि कवि बर्ज बखानी काक भुसुंडी गरुड़ के ही की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की कलिमल हरणी विषय रस फीकी सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती की दलन रोग भव मूर्यमी की तात मात सब विद तुलसी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय।